This video contains spoilers from the world and story of Subnautica. Please beware. Now, when it comes to how the lore of the world of Subnautica is spelled out, it's safe to say that many times it's not right there for you on the surface. In order to get to the truth, sometimes you have to dig a bit deeper, and honestly, many things are never answered to begin with, only leaving us to theorize. But because of this, many people have begun to create theories about how certain things in the game can be explained, or even creating completely new stories about how a certain aspect of the world could possibly work. And well, today, that is exactly what we will be looking at. From reading the comments, I have picked out 3 crazy Subnautica theories, which might not be that crazy after all, and we will be going through them. For each of them, I will present you with facts that support them, facts that go against them, and then give you my opinion at the end. So without any further ado, put on your aluminum hats, get ready to be amazed, and let's go. Now, first of all, the Subnautica map is a crater of a giant underwater volcano. We all know this, but there's something strange about it. If you go out into the void and you swim far enough down, you will find what many people refer to as the bottom of the void, a section that doesn't have any resources nor any animals unless you count the ghost leviathans, and at some point it ends with a sharp cut at the bottom of the map. Now, your normal casual gamer would just chalk this up to resource management. I mean, why would you want to do more terrain down there if players will never go down there? But not the theorizing community. Some people out there are thinking that the fact that the map is technically floating is not a coincidence at all. It is actually because in reality, it is floating and it is being held up by something. What is that? Well, there are 2 options. Either we're talking about giant ancient floaters, the same kind that hold up islands in the game already. So perhaps that wouldn't even be that big of a stretch. But perhaps even crazier, some people have even gone as far as to say that the entire map could be on the back of a giant reefback. I mean, we already know these things can have small sub-biomes on top of them with plants and small creatures roaming around there. So what's to say that there hasn't been an enormous reefback out there in the void that has simply grown to the point where entire mountains have settled on top of it and created what we now call the crater. Now, of course, the biggest problem here would probably be the lava zone, since I don't believe the amount of rock that we see would be quite enough to make the pressures necessary for such strong volcanic activity. But at the end of the day, who knows? This is planet 4546b, not Earth, so maybe not all the rules there are set the same way as they are back here. And moving right along from there, let's talk about the lava zone, a dangerous area inhabited by one of, if not the most damaging creature in the game, the sea dragon, and incredibly vital to the story of Subnautica. One of the last places you will get to visit, in fact. But what if there was a way to get there that did not involve the Lost River? In fact, it wouldn't even involve the teleporters around the planet. You see, some people are theorizing that there used to be a hole that would lead all the way from the safe shallows, or basically the area with the Aurora, all the way down into the lava zone. Now, it should be said here that this was actually originally planned for Subnautica, but it was later removed due to some pacing issues. But I think this theory is actually quite likely, given that, of course we can't find the hole. The Aurora would be on top of it. And if you're thinking, why would this theory exist at all? Well, if you think about it, in the lava zone, we can find several Reaper skeletons, and we learned that sea dragons would often swim up to hunt Reapers, drag them down into the lava zone, and have them, well, basically boil there. But the sea dragon is a big creature, and the entrances into the lava zone, I mean, I just gotta say, they're quite tight. And I mean, I don't want to call the sea dragon fat, but I just feel like it couldn't really squeeze through there. In that sense, it would make perfect sense to me that there used to be a hole down there, which would lead all the way up to the surface, and it simply collapsed after the hunk of the Aurora landed right on top of it. But honestly, who cares about holes in lava zones, sea dragons, or any of the other fauna, to be honest, if one has the cuttlefish. One of, if not the cutest thing that you can find in the game, and a lovely companion to take whenever you go out for a new adventure on 4546B. But where does your cuttlefish come from? I don't mean the egg when where you found it, but what is the cuttlefish? How did it come to be? There are no living specimens of the species, there's only a handful of eggs, and even the PDA states that there is a possibility this thing could have been brought in from a different planet. Well, some people in the theory community have taken this even a step further. Some people have begun to believe that the cuttlefish was actually made by the Precursors. Now, the purpose of making it is not exactly clear, and I don't think people are really united on it, whether it was to provide companionship or maybe for additional research on the Carabacterium. After all, it does have some similarities to the Sea Emperor, a creature they were clearly very interested in, and it's actually very hard to imagine that the two would have a shared ancestor, even if it was very far down the line. On top of that, we already know that the Precursors are quite good at manipulating genetic material and combining biological and mechanical parts, as they are capable of creating something like the Warper, so perhaps a theory like this wouldn't even be too far-fetched. So the next time you're going on an adventure in the underwater paradise of 4546B, well, take a look around you and remember that not everything might be how it seems. But anyways, that brings us to the end of these 3 theories. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. If you have any crazy theories of your own that you would like to share, or some thoughts and ideas about how the world of 4546B could work, please leave them down in the comments below, and perhaps I will cover those in the next episode. But with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.